All right, you want to get to this Jimmy Butler sound?
Yeah, let's get to this. Jimmy Butler was getting discussed on First Take yesterday. What do we got here, Robbie?
Well, here's first Stephen A. Smith claiming why Jimmy Butler is underrated.
What really resonates with me is that the Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler the year before with 39 and 43. Jimmy Butler is they're 41 and 24 before the season is suspended. That is a 21-game turnaround, okay, with about 15 games to go. I mean, that's a drastic change. And talking to the players the way that I have, the way they raved about Jimmy Butler, they talked about his leadership. They talked about his willingness not only to hold people accountable, but to be accountable. Jimmy Butler had taken a game or two off, and Bam Adebayo walked into the line. What the hell you doing? We need you, bro. You playing tonight? You playing? Jimmy Butler invites that kind of scrutiny on himself because he wants the license to give it to others. And he wants others to hold everybody accountable so you have a team that's accountable. When we were talking about the Philadelphia 76ers, and if you remember that time when Philadelphia got blown out by Miami, Jalen, and everybody left to go home, but Ben Simmons had stayed behind in South Beach. If you know anything about Jimmy Butler, he said something about that. When he was in Chicago, okay, he had an issue because he thought that the coach was a little bit too light on the players, okay? And then when he was in Minnesota, he felt like Tom Thibodeau had gotten a little bit softer than he was when he was in Chicago. So that kind of leadership, Max and Jalen, is what I'm alluding to, that he's infused in the Miami Heat.
Garth.
Hey, question.
Love it.
Hold on.
Minnesota.
Besides the Minnesoters.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to give him a pass on that because he was rolling, and sometimes your tongue get a little messed up.
And we're not one to judge on
I don't know. I don't know. Not on this show.
Hey,
6 anomalies is not a lot.
But how did he say a 20-game? Isn't it 2 games?
Well, no, because it's a whole season.
No. He said then with 15 games to play. But he said it's a 2-game. He should say a 2-game improvement.
Wouldn't you do it
with
by the
15 games? It's still not 20 games.
No. What about the losses?
There is no mathematical equation, right, that makes that a 20-game difference. None.
Nah, I think you're wrong, man.
Really? Explain it to me then.
Okay,
go ahead,
Robbie, give me the sound. Let me get the sound again, Robbie. Let me hear what just up to the math part.
What really resonates with me is that the Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler the year before with 39 and 43. Jimmy Butler is they're 41 and 24 before the season is suspended. That is a 21-game turnaround, okay, with about 15 games to go. I mean, that's a drastic change. And talking to the
here's what he said. Okay.
Not a 21-game turnaround.
It is. It's a 19-game turnaround because it's 43 losses compared to 24 losses. Carry the 3. That's 19 games. He's going by losses there, not by wins. What? That's what he's doing.
That's not how that works.
But that's where he's going with that.
All right.
He got caught up in the air a little bit.
I have another question.
He forgot to take. He forgot to take it. To carry the 1. But that's what he's saying there.
I have a question. I've always wondered about this, and this is going to sound pretty stupid, but I'm going to ask because I'm curious. If you play 20 games,
yep,
right, and you finish 15 and 5.
Yep.
How many games over 500 are you?
10.
No, you're not.
No?
You're 5 games over 500.
No.
Because 500 is 10.
Nope. 10 games over 500.
500 of 20 is 10 games.
No.
So if you have 15 wins, you're 5 games over 500.
No, ridiculous. 10 games over 500. Not. Everybody knows this.
No, that's the way they say it. Not the way they say it. That's the way they say it.
No, because if you took away 5 games, you would be 10 and 5, and that's not a 500 winning percentage.
What now?
If you took away 5 games, right?
Right.
That would make you 10-5. That's not a 500 winning percentage.
No. But I'm
Boxed
saying,
in.
if you have 20 games, 500 is 10.
You've been bombed.
I'm a robot. I can't judge whether it was a valid box or not just to press the button.
No, it's not. You don't have to worry, Robbie. He's being ridiculous right now.
What Leroy's
Everybody-
trying to say is if you take away 5 games and turn them into losses, it'd be 10-10.
Right. So technically, you're only 5 games over 500.
No, because you're doing it from a whole of 20 games.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
If you play 20 games and won 15, you're 5 games over 500.
Yeah, but that's not the case. It's where you're only 500 when you have an even record, not 500.
Okay.
where
So
from
if
the
you
number
play
of
20
games,
games, what's if you play 20 games, what's a 500 record?
10-10.
10.
If you have 15 wins, how many games over 500 is that?
10.
It's not.
You sound silly. You're a silly guy. You know what? I love you, but you're a silly
Really?
guy.
Really?
Yeah, you're a silly
I'm
guy.
silly.
Yeah, you're silly.
But do you understand how little sense that makes? That if 10 and 10 is 500, and you have 5 more wins,
Okay, so
Right?
you claim that. I'll do the math. Let me see. Calculator out. Bink. Okay, so 15. All right, divided by 5.
should be a winning percentage of
Yeah,
75%.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Which is 5 games over 500 in 20 games.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you got to count each win and
Dude.
loss as 2 games. You know, it's
Hold on. Think about
In
this.
20 games, if you're
win-
winning 75% of your
hey,
games, that's a
if you take-
750 winning
wait,
percentage.
if you take a test, right, that has 20 questions, and you answer 15 of them right,
75.
what percentage? 75. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's 5 games. That's 5 questions over
If you
500.
only had 10 wins, but you had only 5 losses, that's 15 games, not 20. So you're not taking the whole sum.
No.
You sound silly.
You're still adding up the same amount of games.
You're not though, because you
You're
can't have the
playing-
same math.
Wait, listen, Tobin, you sound ridiculous.
You sound
Right?
ridiculous.
No, listen. If you played 20 games
Yep.
and you are 15 and 5,
Yes.
you are 5 games above 500.
No. 10.
How can you be 10 games above 500 when it's 20 games
because
played?
if you're only 5 games, you're making
Oh, my
500.
goodness.
You're making
Look,
500. Your record 10 and 5.
We've said it this way
Mm-hmm.
for life, right? That's 10 games over 500, but it's not.
This is the dumbest thing I've heard since when Beast tried to convince us that it was games 7. This is the dumbest thing I've heard
it's
since
not.
then.
It's
Beast
not.
was like, it's games 7. I'm like, no, it's game 7s. It's a proper noun. You know, bro.
Okay.
Watch your school.
This
do me a
guy say
favor.
it's 500. Huh?
Watch your Schoolhouse Rock. Okay, do me a favor. Watch your Schoolhouse Rock.
God.
You have no idea what you're talking about. A 500 record. Okay, how do you have a 500 record with 20 games?
Huh?
What's a
Say
500
it
record
again?
with 20 games?
What's a 500
say-
record? 10 to 10.
Okay. If you win 5 more games from that point on to get to 25 games, you're 5 games over 500, bro.
Technically, you're not.
You are. You want to know
Because
why?
in order to-
'Cause-
wait.
No.
In order to
The
find-
term is not a mathematical term. It's not a term of you're this many percentage points over 500. The term over 500, games over 500 is if I were to take those games away, my record would go down to a 500 winning percentage. It's not a pure mathematical term. This is not the Pythagorean theorem. So when you say you're this many games over 500, all you're doing is taking away the games it would take to get a winning percentage of 500. Sir, math major.
Well, this texter brings up a good point. 15 and 5 is 10 games above 500 because you would have to lose 10 games
Lose 10 games
to be 500.
Boxed in.
You've been boxed in.
Okay.
You know what? You think I'm a dummy, but between all this chicanery, I know something.
Okay.
I know things.
Okay.
You don't know math. You know math, but you don't know sports math.
Okay. Oh, sports math is different.
Sports math is different.
All right.
We have things that we say that are just things.
Okay. All right.
It's a teacher class.
All I know is if I play 20 games and I win 10 of them, that's 500.
How many arguments about this did you have throughout the locker room? So were you like the guy who was just like, actually, guys, we're only 2 games over 500?
What I just said. This is a conversation.
Were you like, thanks, Horde?
This is a question that I've had, right, with myself for years.
Wow.
But I said,
Probably
like,
should
wait
have
a
kept
minute.
it there.
No.
Let's hear Jalen Rose. He had some comments to say about Jimmy Butler because we got definitely off on a tangent. We didn't listen to anything Stephen A. Smith said other than his terrible math. So let's hear what Jalen Rose had to say about our guy Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler has now ascended to that for me. A top 4 seed in the East, as Stephen A. mentioned. Miami continues to outplay expectations. And it's not only about the numbers with Jimmy Butler. How about this? When he left the Bulls, they got worse. That's an absolute fact. When he left Minnesota, they got worse. When he left the Sixers, they got worse. Who would have thought Jimmy Butler was going to leave Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, go to Miami, team with Bam Adebayo. He become an all-star in his first year. Duncan Robinson makes the three-point contest. Jones Jr. wins the dunk contest, and they're in the thick of things in his first year. Jimmy Butler is the answer to this question.
Tell him, Jalen. Little appreciation for Jimmy Butler being the most underrated player in basketball. Do you want to be the most underrated basketball player? Is that a compliment? Like when you're at the ilk of Jimmy Butler, is that saying like you're on the doorstep of being a star, but you're not like a superstar, or is being the most underrated person in the NBA a nice label?
I mean, in that sport, you're rewarded by what level of play you are by max contract.
Right? Yeah.
So,
I mean,
once you get to that level, to where it's just assumed that that's what you're going to get, then that labels you as an elite player or a star.
But
No?
would you want to be in the, like I'm saying, when they have, because they have this list where they have like the top 15 players and Jimmy comes in at 15 on their list, which top 15 player in the NBA is really, really good. I know Riley said before the year he thinks personally Jimmy, for what he does on both ends, is a top 10 player. The Heat had 2 of the top players in the Eastern Conference with him and Bam. So I'm just asking from this standpoint of underrated, is Jimmy Butler at the point where underrated is a good thing, or for you wanting to be your cornerstone of your franchise, do you need it to be more? And eventually,
But if everybody's treating you that way, what else do you need? They treated you that way according to how much money they pay you. They treated you that way according to the responsibility they give you. They treated you that way based on all the things they allow you to do and how they allow you to do the things you do on the team as far as holding everybody accountable. There is nothing else that he would be allowed to do if people didn't think that.
Well, I'll say this. The thing that's different about it is when he left Philadelphia, everybody thought that he was going to lose, and he ended up with a better record than the 76ers.
Right.
So they thought that he was making a move that was a loser move, that he couldn't carry it, when really, in fact, he was a bigger reason for the winning than they gave credit for.
Here's the problem, okay, is that in Philadelphia, they have a culture problem. They have a problem with, one, holding these guys accountable and pushing them forward to take that next step, okay? Joel Embiid does it sometimes. He doesn't do it all the time. He's not consistent with it, and when he's consistent, he is one of the most dominant players. You got a point guard that can't shoot, that doesn't try to shoot, that hasn't worked on that skill. When Jimmy Butler was there, he kind of put some heat on all of them to kind of force them, to make them do the things they need to do to get better. Guys like Joel Embiid respected him, so he put forth that effort. Other guys looked at him like, yo, man, this is our team. I'm the star. You need to just beat it.
I love the fact that Bam called out Jimmy this year for missing too many games.
That's funny.
Do you think of Jimmy under his breath is thinking, "You're 22, give me a break, man"?
Nope.
Or you
Not
think he
at
liked
all.
it? You think he liked it?
I just think that there's that respect between all of them. That look, if I put the work in, and you put in that work also, then the problem is that that we have to hold each other accountable. And if
No, I think you're right. I think there is a great respect there, but I do think that there's got to be a piece of Jimmy Butler that's like, damn, I've put myself in a corner where a bunch of 22-year-olds are thinking I gotta act like a 22-year-old.
But here's the problem, that he may say something about it. He may say, "Hey, man, I've been around this league a long time. You can't come at me like that."
I don't
But
think
guess
he will.
what? No.
I don't think he will.
But here's the kicker. The kicker is he may say something like that, but he gonna get his butt on the basketball court. That's respect.
Sure.
And that's it.
I love it. Texter writes in, Butler was Jordan in those Philly guys, and they cried, so he came here. I agree with that. He wanted to be in a place where not only he was doing that, but he was going to be treated like he was the Jordan. He was going to be treated like the guy who was going to get the respect. I'm not saying that he is Michael Jordan. I'm not saying that he's of that class, but he wants to be his leadership. He wanted to be respected in the style that he led. And you heard even in Stephen A's clip where he said that he got to Minnesota and Tom Thibodeau had changed, that Tom Thibodeau had bent to the younger generation a little bit with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins.
Soft.
And that is not
soft.
Got soft. And that is not the way Tom Thibodeau has been known as a guy who takes years off of guys' careers. All right. Luol Deng is walking around like an old man. Now, somehow in the midst of that, Luol Deng got a $70 million contract from the Lakers. So good for him. But that Tom Thibodeau practices and makes these guys play so hard in the regular season that he takes years off of their careers. And that's what Jimmy Butler came up in. That's what Jimmy Butler was raised in. And he got to Minnesota and said, You changed, bruh. You soft. You are soft.
Well,
and so
you can't hear. And I think sometimes coaches have to adjust, but you have to keep the core of who you are. And if you're a defensive guy and you a work hard guy, then you have to be that. And I think where Jimmy's probably talking about Thibodeau going wrong is, or changing is that he let these guys get away with things he normally allow his players to get away with. And the demands that he would put on his players, he didn't put the demands on them. And maybe he made that adjustment because everybody there was soft.
maybe.
Right? You can't ask players to be Jimmy Butler if they don't have it in them. And
That's true.
And so when you think of the players there, okay, Wiggins want to be Jordan, right? Ain't gonna play a lick of defense.
Yep.
And then you got what's the name in the middle, who got flabby arms. He ain't putting in the work.
Old grandma arms.
Right. And so how do you go about getting that to perform? Because in the end, you being a hard ass doesn't do anything if your team's not winning. So what he did was, hey, if I get Jimmy Butler in here, he'll have a better idea of what I want, and maybe he can get these younger guys to follow. But Jimmy's abrasive.
Well, let me
Right?
ask you that. Let me ask you this. So, I saw in Ira Winman does his Ask Ira column, and he was reacting to there was this in my opinion, a terrible trade that Bleacher Report had suggested for Joel Embiid because, Jimmy and Joel they were kind of Instagram flirting this year, where Jimmy was like, I know a place where villains are accepted. Because Joel Embiid was getting booed by the Philly fans and, probably crying, having his Sports Illustrated model wipe his tears. And Jimmy Butler had said, oh, I know a place where villains are accepted. So Bleacher Report had thrown out there that if things go awry for the Sixers this year, that perhaps that the Heat would make a trade for Joel. And this is the trade they suggested. Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro, and Bam Adebayo for Joel Embiid. Now, I threw my computer and laughed hysterically at what a dumb trade that would be for the Miami Heat, because I already saw Bam Adebayo start to cook Joel Embiid this year. Cook him. Hey, cook him, Leroy. And the idea that you throw Bam in that trade is silly sauce to begin with. But on top of that, you want the 2 sharpshooters? Nah, I'm not into it. Now, I know that Tyler Hero's probably got to be in any deal that you want to go get an all-star if you want to go trade for an all-star in the midst of all this, but I'm not into it. And the other thing is, if you bring in a Joel Embiid, the question would be, could you make Joel Embiid Miami Heat culture, or is he who he is? And you need to be brought along in that, because I think that just with bringing in the big man who's kind of on off switch, supremely talented. Yeah, broken, cries. He's an all-world level.
Man.
Sorry,
Come on, Chris Bosh cried.
That was after the finals, and he did it like a man into the carpet, not having.
Wait.
Chris Bosh cried. No.
He cried more like a man because he jumped on the ground of
Chris
the
Bosh
of American Airlines Arena.
Not even a question. Chris Bosh cried more like a man because he wept into the carpet of the American Airlines Arena more so than Joel Embiid, who had his model lady windshield wipe his tears away. That's what I do for my son when he gets hurt. Wipe his tears away.
Can Lagatha do it for me?
I
wipe my
mean,
tears away?
Listen, the move is what it is. I'd prefer it not happen on national television. I'd prefer that. But my question would be, like, can Joel Embiid be that down here, or is I'm sure that he'll give the song and dance, and we'll give the company line, but like, is he just this where he's the on-off switch guy?
You're looking at that from the wrong way. Okay, let me ask you a question. Has there ever been a player to come and play for the Heat that Pat Riley didn't think Heat culture would get him?
No.
Okay. You're looking at it the wrong way. You're looking at Kenneth Joel Embiid. No. The Heat think, whoo, we can fix that.
Well, Riley thinks he could fix that.
Yes.
So you think Pat Riley, like, if Pat Riley had this...
Salivating.
Let me ask you something.
Salivating.
Well, there are tons of them, but there are none.
So there's not an orca that Pat Riley would want more than the big man.
Joel Embiid.
Riley would
not
be like,
just any big man.
But hold on. First of all, he never do it for trading Bam. He'd never do it. He'd never do it. Leroy, he compared Bam to Dwayne Wade this past weekend.
Okay. If you called Pat Riley, right?
No way.
And said, hey, Pat, we can get Joel Embiid. Dude is going to hibernate for a minute and chew on it.
No.
What?
Hold on.
Pat Riley and a big man?
If he says
that crazy?
So you're telling me that in this case, like Adam Simon or Andy Ellsberg, they tell we could do it, but they want Bam. You don't think that Pat tells them to send it? He doesn't send him a DM of his middle finger.
Here's what I think. I think he calls an emergency Zoom.
Emergency Zoom?
Yeah. Emergency Zoom with all the powers that be in SPO, and they have a serious conversation about this. Serious.
Oh, really?
Because, wait, let me ask you a question. Hold on. This is an honest question. Let me ask you this question. First of all, he think they can find shooters anywhere, correct? They've always seemed to find shooters. So those guys don't even matter. Because not the shooters. I don't care how good of shooters they are.
Duncan Robinson's the best shooter.
The Heat think
I wish you wouldn't do that.
Hold on. The Heat think they can find shooters. They've done a tremendous job of doing that. Okay? But Pat Riley says, in the next 2 years, who can I win a championship with? Bam or Joel Embiid?
I mean, I think
okay.
I think
look,
it's Bam.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Look, the fact that you just paused.
I didn't really pause though. Like
you did pause. There's gonna be a conversation.
Here's why. All I'm pausing for is to say, because I know I'm going to sound like a ridiculous homer saying this, because I know everyone's going to say Joel Embiid because he's the more famous guy.
No,
Bam is
because He shoots the ball. Bam can't shoot yet.
It does not. Robbie? What is Joel Embiid shooting this year? Because first of all, let me tell you something right now. Anytime Joel Embiid shoots the ball, I'm like, good. Shoot your ass off. Because the only time I see Joel Embiid's big ass dominating a game is when he gets his big ass in the paint. That's where I want him. A presence in the paint to free it up for everybody else. But he likes to think, ooh, I'm a shooter. Let me pull on up. And yeah, every now and then I'll have a hot game where he does the shimmy down the court, where he does the ha. I'm like, no. I don't want you there. No. Keep your ass in the paint.
It sounds like you're not a fan of Joel Embiid.
I like Joel Embiid, but it's at a cost. Now he's shooting
34% from three this year. But last year
35%.
Last year was
35%.
You wanna reel that back on?
I don't. No, I don't.
35%.
Leroy, any game I watch Joel Embiid shoot threes, I'm happy.
35% for three.
I'm happy.
32 for his career.
32% for his career.
Okay. 30%. That's aight. It's aight.
Really?
It's aight.
Really?
It's aight.
You think so?
In today's day and age, it's aight.
It's better than D Wade.
Oh, all right. What? Hold your tongue, sir. Hold your tongue.
I'm not holding my tongue. I'm just
Hold your
saying
tongue, sir.
you're shooing the fact that
Hold
Joel
on.
Embiid is 35% from three.
Okay, but
And
Joel,
you're shrugging it off like it's nothing.
great
It's
defensive.
something.
Nah, it's not.
Okay.
I just.
By the way, hold on. Out of curiosity, what's Tyler Herro shooting from three?
Let me see. Baby Goat. Let's fire up the old basketball reference. Here we go. Tyler Herro.
39.
39.
Okay.
I mean, that's really good. I love this guy.
On like almost two more shots.
Yeah, Joel Embiid's making barely over a three a game. He's good.
He's a sinner.
Okay. But I don't want him shooting the three.
Okay. That's
Especially, that's, trust me,
fine.
you look around.
All things.
You know who I want shooting the three?
Wait. All things that Pat Riley is going to say, we can fix that.
Not for Bam.
Okay. Bam doesn't shoot yet. He's not there yet. That's why I said in the next 2 years.
Hold on, though.
I think when it's all said and done, and this is the honest truth, I think Bam is going to have a more productive year because a more productive career because he's going to be more available than Joel Embiid will be.
Yeah, he's 22 though. Like Bam's 20. Bam's 22. Joel Embiid couldn't even play till he was 22 because he had grandpa feet.
Okay, but that's my point. But that's why I put the caveat in it. The next 2 years, if Pat Riley wants to win a championship, if Pat Riley wants to win a championship in the next 2 years, does he make that move?
Nope. Okay. Not for Bam. I don't think Bam's touchable. I don't think he's touchable.
He may not be, but when you're orchering or whaling or whatever you want to call it, right?
No, you got to pick your harpoons wisely.
Okay.
Trust me, I know orking.
Really, and you're telling me that the call comes. Give me a ring there, Roddy. Hey, Pat. Let's throw this out there. We're gonna move Joel Embiid. He really has shown an interest in Miami. Let's have some conversations about it.
Okay, all right. Dazzle me. What do you want for him?
Okay. I'm gonna go. Give me Tyler Herro.
All right, we'll stay on the line right now.
Duncan Robinson.
You tread lightly. Tread lightly where you take this call.
Bam Adebayo.
See ya.
Do you understand? Okay. I'm telling you, for a fact, I believe Bam is gonna have a more productive career than Joel Embiid.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But the next 2 years, Joel Embiid gives you a better chance of winning a championship.
No. Because here's the thing you're also missing.
Okay.
Here's the thing you're also
What
missing.
am I missing then,
Here's what
player?
else you're missing. Because in 2 years, you're gonna have cap space to go get someone
No.
and add him in. I'm saying.
Okay, fine. And
If you do
won't
that
be
with
able to
Joel,
you won't be able to do that with Joel?
No. Because these are all the guys you're talking about. They make rookie money. They make
But
peanuts.
Let
Let me ask you something.
In
Let
2
me ask you
years,
this.
they're not going to make peanuts.
Let me ask you this. What do you think Eric Spoelstra's reaction is if you tell him you're bringing in another moody, sometimes motivated, sometimes not, kind of out of shape center who's injury prone?
All I said was, if Philadelphia made the call, they would have serious Zoom meetings about it.
Not for Bam. As soon as those 3 letters came out of the Philadelphia GM's mouth, the Zoom meeting's over. All right. You know what they're gonna do? He's gonna put that background like Robbie did the San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge, or maybe the moon, because this guy's out of this world loony.
Okay, yeah, I don't believe you. I don't think you're right. I'm telling you.
Trust me.
The way Pat Riley is with bigs and versatile bigs. Oh, come on.